Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, Poland's pathetic president. First though, 20 years in prison just doesn't seem enough for the hate-filled homophobe who stabbed a gay professional dancer to death in New York City. O'Shea Sibley was 23 when he was attacked at a petrol station in Brooklyn 3 years ago. Dmitry Popov was shouting homophobic and racist insults. He was 17 at the time and carrying a 5.5-inch blade. Onitha Sibley is O'Shea's mother.
He killed the wrong boy. The wrong boy. We talk every weekend. My weekends are the worst. Are the worst. But I'm going to keep on striving. I'm going to keep on doing it. I just miss my baby.
Thanks to ABC 7 New York, O'Shea and his friends, who were all gay and black, had been dancing to Beyoncé, which triggered Popov and his mates. The killer, who's now 20, admitted manslaughter as a hate crime.
Pride Daily.
Next, a gay German lawmaker's resigned over accusations of hypocrisy because he's had a baby through a surrogate in America. This way of becoming parents has been criticised previously by Jens Spahn, and it's vehemently opposed by his right-wing Christian Democrat Party. Surrogacy's banned within Germany, but you can raise a child there if they're born abroad. Spahn says he's realised his position isn't compatible with his political office.
Pride Daily.
And plans to give more rights to same-sex couples in Poland have been blocked by the country's right-wing president. They've not got equal marriage there, and this legislation would have brought in cohabitation contracts to even things up a bit when it comes to the likes of joint property rights and access to medical information. But President Karol Nawrocki reckons it would undermine the special status of marriage. No time to tell you that Australian tennis star Daria Kasatkina has married her girlfriend Natalia Zabiarko in Greece. They've been together about 5 years and say it was the best day ever.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, Brat's life. First though, a gender-critical woman who claimed unlawful discrimination by a former employer has lost a legal action in Northern Ireland. Sarah Morrison was an inclusion and audience development coordinator for Belfast Film Festival. Inclusion, ironic. Reckons she was forced out of a job after appearing at a rally for Let Women Speak, which is frequently described as transphobic. You are now cordially invited to a pity party, courtesy of the Save Culture From Itself podcast.
The stuff people were saying about me was, my Instagram was a hit site. My best friends all just disappeared. Do you know what I mean? You've really disappointed me. Why have you done this to me? As if to them. It was terrifying.
As is the abuse transgender people get. Morrison insists she's not against trans rights. Her legal action was partly funded by Harry Potter's Wicked Grandma.
Pride Daily.
Next, a young gay man who donated a kidney to his estranged homophobic father has died from complications in Brazil. Gabriel Barros was kicked out of home by his dad at the age of just 16, spending his remaining years sofa surfing and living in shelters. When the 22-year-old heard he was the only match in the family, he stepped up, but the operation left him with internal bleeding and sepsis. His father is recovering.
Pride Daily.
And Bratislava Pride's drawn more than 10,000 people onto the streets of the Slovakian capital. Courage was this year's theme, because that's what you need to be out there due to discrimination. Elsewhere in the city, a Proud of the Family event, organised by the radical right to promote the so-called traditional family, saw a minuscule turnout.
Queer Family Podcast.
If you've ever felt like your family didn't fit the traditional mold, this show is for you. I'm Jamie, host of the Queer Family Podcast. And every week we highlight LGBTQIA+ families and the beautiful, unique ways we build and show up for our families in a world that wasn't designed for us. We celebrate, highlight, uplift, and normalize queer families because our stories deserve center stage. New episodes every Monday. Listen wherever you get your pods.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, we say balls to women's tennis. First though, a bigot who left his queer neighbour partially paralysed in Florida has got 7 years in prison. Tyler Getchell shot Carl McFarlane in the back after starting a confrontation outside their homes. This after anti-LGBTQ+ signs were placed in the windows facing Carl's house with dog poo smeared on his property.
This is quite a blatant just hate crime, an escalation of a series of hate attacks on Kyle and his home.
Florida LGBTQ+ advocate Echo Nova speaking to First Coast News. It's not actually recorded as a hate crime, just attempted manslaughter, but you make up your own mind. Kyle's paralysed from the waist down with a bullet lodged too close to his spine to be operated on.
Pride Daily.
Next, gene testing's been brought in by the Women's Tennis Association. The organisation's quietly updated its rules online, so players will now have to give a blood sample or have their cheek swabbed to prove their eligibility. Other sports governing bodies have previously done similar. As far as we know, there aren't any transgender women in professional tennis.
Pride Daily.
And a much-needed something nice. Plans for a yearly symbolic commitment ceremony for LGBTQ+ couples in Cebu City in the Philippines. There's no same-sex marriage in the country, but council officials want to promote inclusivity and push back against discrimination. If this goes through, it'll probably happen on a day each June as part of Pride Month, with funding from the city.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, a school district gets dragged. First though, some top-tier allyship at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. The world's second biggest multi-sports event kicks off later, and an exhibition's highlighting the 29 Commonwealth countries that criminalise being queer. Their flags have been lined up with black ribbons of mourning attached, part of the Zero Flags project pushing for decriminalisation everywhere.
Afghanistan, death penalty. Iran, death penalty. Malaysia, 20 years. Guyana, imprisonment for life.
Hans Verhoeven's the chairperson of Zero Flags.
Countries that criminalise homosexuality, where people cannot be who they are and cannot love who they want to love. What we have to remember is that this is not a fight of these people alone. We have to join them. We have to be there.
The black ribbons are triggering all the right people, aka the radical right and culture war cretins. All the usual guff, this is performative, it's virtue signalling, and keep politics out of this. You know, like they always do.
Pride Daily.
Next, about 500 students have protested against a professor accused of transphobia at a university in Germany. They say a lecture from Dr. Ute Bayern basically claimed transgender people don't exist and that so-called trans ideology endangers children. The psychology professor's presentation at Heinrich Heim Uni in Dusseldorf has been criticised as discriminatory and inhumane.
Pride Daily.
And seems a US school district would rather spend $150,000 on culture war clownery than educating kids. That's the amount officials in Iowa have wasted after settling a lawsuit brought by 3 teachers who were suspended for helping students organise a family-friendly drag performance in 2022. Ankeny School District caved into fake outrage from the radical right and was being accused of discrimination.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, queer books go back in the closet. First though, a fortnight of World Pride and Euro Pride kicks off tomorrow in Amsterdam. And where better as they mark 25 years of marriage equality in the Netherlands, the first country where queer people could tie the knot and be as miserable as the straights. Geert Castile and Dolph Pasco were among the very first to do it at just after midnight on April 1st, 2001.
It's nicer to say to other people, well, he's my husband, he's my man. And it's natural to say so. And otherwise I have to say he's my partner or he's my friend. And it has also helped me to accept myself.
Thanks to Reuters. More than 36,000 same-sex couples have married in the Netherlands since, and you can actually get hitched at World Pride and Europride, sort of, with symbolic ceremonies and vow renewals planned. Elsewhere, music acts performing over the next 2 weeks include BB Rexha, Emanike and Honey Dijon.
Pride Daily.
To Romania next, and a Pride March in the western city of Oradea still on for tomorrow, despite a ban. Local authorities have just refused to authorise it for a fourth consecutive year, always giving nonsense reasons, plus the mayor's made comments about violating public order and good morals. Organisers say they're ignoring the ban. They're supported in this by the European Commission and more than 120 LGBTQ+ and human rights organisations from 30 countries.
Pride Daily.
And safety covers for queer books are being sold to help stop whoever's reading them from being hassled. One of the world's biggest publishing houses, Jessica Kingsley Publishers, has launched them this week, and they basically conceal a book's actual cover. The firm says they're a response to increasing hostility towards LGBTQ+ people and marginalised communities, and it's not a product they ever wanted to make. No time to tell you that a man who tore down rainbow flags from a town hall in Valencia in Spain has got 6 months in prison for a hate crime. In Northern Ireland, it's the first ever Belfast Dyke March later. London Trans Plus Pride is tomorrow. And Saturday also sees the first ever Pride event in Guadeloupe in the Caribbean. We're also on your smart speaker. Compel it to play the latest Pride Daily. That's your lot. I'll see you next week.